please welcome somebody that I just can easily go out on the limb and say we all love this person so much. Fred Savage!
Nice to see you.
Oh my God, are you kidding me? We thought we were going to get to work with you last year. We were so bummed.
It worked out, though.
I know, and actually it's better because it's in person.
And I have something to talk about. I remember when I was going to come, like, you should come to Drew. And I was like, I can't come to Drew with, like, old stories about college. Like, I have to have a real something to talk about.
Yeah.
And now I do.
Well, we've been waiting for 2 years.
It's very exciting.
For you to come on the show. And I'm with you, too. Like, I'm not a big go on talk shows to just talk. You want something to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, kind of. Although we can find things. I feel like we're chatty people.
I agree.
We can find some common ground, you know?
But also, okay, so you and I have another thing in common. We're both some of the youngest people to host SNL.
This is true. This is true.
Which, this is a real source of pride.
Yes, but I think you were the...
I mean, look at
what
you!
What did we miss? My God.
13?
I was 13 years old. How old are you? You were younger.
I was 7.
I mean, oh my God.
And we have Macaulay Culkin in between us. And
He's
that makes
always
us
been
the
that
first,
guy.
second, and third youngest people. Still, there's no one who's touched these records in all these years.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Oh, that's my sister. My sister in real life played on the show with me.
Did she have fun?
She had the best time. My sister was in it. My mom was in it.
No way.
Is that Julie Louis-Dreyfus was in the cast?
Yes.
No way.
And I was with Eddie Murphy, Julie Louis-Dreyfus,
Joe Piscopo.
And Julie Louis-Dreyfus ended up marrying Brad Hall, who's next to her, and they're still happily married. Tim Kazurinsky married Gross, Robin Duke, and Gary Kroger. I mean, I remember it
Do you remember it, like, vividly?
Yes.
What do you remember? Yeah, very clearly, very clearly.
I remember, and Steven Spielberg came because he was very paternal with me.
Were you nervous? Like, did you know what you were doing? Did you know, like, you were on Saturday Night Live?
I wasn't nervous.
Yeah, me either. I didn't really know. I didn't really appreciate it. I mean, I did appreciate it, but, like, 'cause my dad was really excited, and I grew up watching it, but I wasn't nervous about it.
Do you think that you and I grew up in a way where we lacked that nervous gene because we started working so young?
I think so.
I also really resonate with your story in that you were an actor, you went behind the scenes, and you became this huge director.
Yeah. I mean,
I mean, your credits are insane. Your IMDb pages, it's like a scroll. Okay, will you play a game with me?
Yeah.
Okay, because your credits are so long, and you've worked on so many illustrious shows, I wanted to take a look back with you and play a little game that's one of my favorites here. It's called Behind the Scenes.
Let's go. Let's go.
I mean, literally, there's like, That's So Raven, Drake and Josh. Like, you had a whole Disney era in 1999.
That's where I started doing, like, kid stuff.
You also did Hannah Montana. I want something.
I did Hannah Montana.
What have you got? Bring me Fly on the Wall, Hannah Montana.
Okay, so Hannah Montana was actually like a big turning point for me as a director. And so I did this thing, I don't know if you've ever done this as an actress or as a director, where you start to hold things at arm's length a little bit and say, well, I'm doing it, but that's not really who I am or what I want to be doing. And I got like snobby, you know, to be honest, if I'm laying it out there. And when I did Hannah Montana, I'm like, you know what? I'm not doing my best work. I need to like really commit to the thing. So I had all this, when I was preparing for Hannah Montana, I'm like, this is gonna be the best episode of Hannah Montana. Like, I'm gonna pour everything into it. And it was about a girl who was bullying Hannah, and she realized, Hannah's like, what's going on? She realized that she herself was very fragile. And that's why she was bullying Hannah. And I'm like, this scene is about identity and about like crisis and about friendship and healing wounds. I'm like, this is gonna be the best performance these actresses have ever given in their lives. And I stand by it, it was, okay?
What was,
like, you commit to it, you have to
Miley
commit.
Cyrus like, because she's a deep bird. I don't think that she's looking to stay in a box.
She was the best. and was a delight. I mean, she was really young, but she was awesome. She was awesome.
Okay,
yeah.
Modern Family.
The best.
Give me a fly on the wall moment.
Like, fly on the wall moment, like, it was incredibly daunting, but at the same time, it was really inspiring. And once I did my first episode and got like invited back, it was like getting to sit at like the cool kids table. Because the first time, they're like, hey, come sit with us. I'm like, oh, no, you have the wrong guy. Like, no, come on. And when you got invited back, I was like, oh, I'm in. And it was great. It was really great.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, Blackish.
Blackish was a show that I have loved since the moment it came on. And there was a minute when it first aired, they're like, oh, would you want to come direct some? I'm like, I love the show, but I feel like those aren't my stories to tell. And then, like, when I came to do one, I realized I was so in my own head. I was like, no, these are stories about, the point of that show is that these are stories about family and growing up and struggles at home and struggles at work. And these are universal stories. And that really, doing those, handful of episodes over at Blackish, I think gave me the confidence to come do this new iteration of the Wonder Years for that same idea of there's universality in the specificity of these stories. And
well, that was going to be my next question. That's a perfect parlay into the Wonder Years. Lee Daniels calls you, or he's a part of the producing team.
Lee Daniels had the rights, and he was like, do you want to be a part of this? And I did the same thing. This sounds like a great idea, but this is like Lee's story to tell. Like, I think he's the perfect guy to tell this story, because what it was always from the beginning to tell a story about an African-American family and how it was the Wonder Years for this family as well. And so I was like, this is a great idea. I think you're the right guy to do it. I can't wait to watch it. And this was years ago. And then he came back. Saladin Patterson is the guy who wrote and created this new iteration of the Wonder Years. And I had worked with him before. And he's just like one of the best people. He's a great writer, a great comedian, but just one of the best people, best men I've met. Just a great person. And he's like, I'm going to be writing it, and I'm not going to do it without you. He's like,
I love this.
This is... Yeah.
I love that.
He's like, he wrote about his experience. He grew up in Tuskegee, Alabama, and this show takes place in Montgomery. And he goes, I'm writing about my family and my experiences, and I'm telling you, like, this is our story to tell together. And like that invitation in, so being partnered with him and Saladin and Lee, it's just been an incredible team.